Chapter 2.7 Quick Review, number 1 through 10. This section, 2.7 of the book, has to do with solving rational equations, and so this set of exercises is preliminary to that. In exercise 1 and 2, find the missing numerator or denominator. Well, in this case, we have in the numerator this question mark. So we're trying to actually isolate this question mark by itself, and when we have that, we will have solved for the missing numerator or denominator. In this case, we have to ask ourselves, what is preventing this question mark from being isolated? Well, what it is, it's this denominator here. So we want to remove, or the way we say this later on, or clear out the denominator. Spelling challenge. Looks like I succeeded. Okay. What we're going to do for that, we'll rewrite this equation. A student had trouble understanding this concept, and so you can, if you'd like, instead of this question mark, use a variable, or at least think of it as a variable. And what we're going to do to clear out this denominator is, what is this denominator here doing to this question mark? Well, below this division bar, it's dividing. So the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So we're going to multiply this entire equation by a quantity x squared plus x minus 12. And when we multiply everything inside of the equation by quantity x squared plus x minus 12, we get, on the left side, 2x times x squared plus x minus 12 over x minus 3. On the right side, we have question mark in the numerator divided by x squared plus x minus 12, and multiplied here by quantity x squared plus x minus 12. And on the right side, which was our intention anyway, was to cancel x squared plus x minus 12 over x squared plus x minus 12. And on the left, we have 2x times quantity x squared plus x minus 12 over x minus 3. And what we're going to try to do is see if we can simplify further what's on the left. And being that x squared plus x minus 12 is a quadratic trinomial, it would simplify, it would help us if we're able to factor this and cancel this x minus 3 sitting down here in the denominator. And so 2x x minus 3. On the right side, we have our question mark. Write my question mark a little better. Okay, there we go. Anyway, what would help us is if one of these factors here for the quadratic trinomial is x minus 3, to be able to cancel out what's in the denominator here. So x squared, and we put negative 12 here. Well, if one of the factors is x minus 3, which I write up here, we're going to have negative 3 times x is negative 3x. So to get a positive x, you would have to have 4x. So if we put x plus 4 on the left side, 4 times x is 4x. And so that works out 4x minus 3x to x. So our factors are going to be x minus 3, x minus 3, and x plus 4. And we have a cancellation, x minus 3 over x minus 3. Therefore, 2x times quantity x plus 4 is our question mark. If we wanted to go ahead and distribute, we could get 2x squared plus 4 times 2x, 8x equals our question mark. So that's going to be our missing numerator. Next odd number problem, 3. Exercise 3 through 6, find the LCD. LCD means least common denominator, and rewrite the expression in a single fraction reduced to lowest terms. Well, we have our denominators of 12, 18, and 6. And so what we need to do for least common denominator is we need to go higher numbers, because 18 would be a common denominator for 18ths for sure. And we could rewrite negative 5 sixths as, I believe, 15 18ths. But 18 isn't going to work for 12 here, right? Because we can't write 5 over 12 in terms of 18ths. So our least common denominator, if we start multiplying things together, if we could try 24, but 24 is not going to work with this 7 18ths. So try 36. Well, 36 is a 12 times 3 is 36, 18 times 2 is 36, 6 times 18 times 2 is 30, and 6 times 6 is 36. So 36 is going to be our least common denominator, and we can rewrite 5 twelfths as 36 by multiplying by 3 over 3. Okay, so 3 over 3 is 1, we know that, but we're putting this in a form that we'll be able to combine these fractions. And then to rewrite 7 18ths as 36, we need to multiply this fraction by 2 over 2. And then finally, we have minus 5 sixths. What do we do to write 5 sixths in 36? So we need to multiply by 6 over 6. And when we do that, we're going to get 5 times 3 is 15 in the numerator. The denominator, 12 times 3, 36. Plus, in the numerator, 7 times 2 is 14, 36. And finally, we have this last fraction, 5 6. We have 5 times 6 is 30. And then we have 6 times 6, the denominator is 36. So we have 36, we have our common denominator, so we just need to go ahead and add these fractions together. We have 15 plus 14 is 29, and 29 minus 30 is negative 1, so we're going to end up with negative 1/36. Next odd number problem, 5. We have, this time we're using variables, in this case x. And what can we do to guarantee, let me put down, to guarantee an LCD, what can we do? Multiply together our denominators. And so we're going to have 2x plus 1 over x minus 3 is our guaranteed denominator. So let's go ahead and work this out and rewrite this fraction. Okay, we have x, let me put this down here, x over 2x plus 1 And to get our common denominator of quantity 2x plus 1 times quantity x minus 3, we need to multiply by what? X minus 3 over x minus 3. Okay, so this expression here, x times quantity x minus 3 over quantity 2x plus 1 times quantity x minus 3 is the same as this first fraction here before the subtraction sign. All right? And next, we're going to rewrite the second fraction, 2 over x minus 3. And to get our common denominator, what are we going to have to do? We have to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by this 2x plus 1 over 2x plus 1. And so what this is it's kind of like, if you look at the original fraction, it's almost like you're cross-multiplying the denominators to the numerators across that minus sign, or it could be a plus sign. That's what the thing ends up being. And so now we can simplify, and we're going to have our common denominator. The numerator is going to be x times x, and x times negative 3. And we're going to have minus 2 times 2x, and minus 2 times 1. So rewriting, we're going to have, let's see, we're going to have x squared x squared minus 3x, and we'll write their denominator here, 2x plus 1, that's only x minus 3. And then for the right side, we're going to have minus 4x. This minus sign distributes to both of these things here. So we have minus 4x and then minus 2. And all this combining like terms is going to be x squared minus 7x minus 2. And we're all over our common denominator, 2x plus 1 times quantity x minus 3. And so that will be our answer. Okay, next. Another problem. Exercise 7 through 10, use the quadratic formula to find the zeros of the quadratic polynomials. And to find the zeros, we have this 2x squared minus 3x minus 1. So it's like, to find the zeros, it's like we're making an equation setting this quadratic trinomial equal to 0. And normally we'd look at quadratic trinomial, and the easiest way to do this, if we could do it, would be to factor. But we're going to take the clue that probably because we're asked to use the quadratic formula, my guess is that this expression 2x squared minus 3x minus 1 is not factorable. So let's write a quadratic formula. I had a student a few years ago, Justin, who had a way of remembering the quadratic formula. It goes like this. It starts with x equals a negative boy missed out on a radical party, and because he thought he was square, he missed out on 4 awesome chicks, and the party was over by 2 a.m. So that's it, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And for this, we have a is going to be equal to 2, b is equal to negative 3, and c is equal to negative 1. And what I like to do to avoid mistakes is rewrite the quadratic formula with just parentheses. And then we just fill in our a, b, and c in the parentheses. We're going to put negative, open parentheses for b, plus or minus the square root of open parentheses squared minus 4 open parentheses, And then in the denominator we have 2 open parentheses. And having just, when you put the parentheses like this, it makes it a lot harder to make a sign mistake, especially for this first one, this negative b, because we have b is -3. Well, we just put the -3 inside the parentheses, and so it's easier to see that this is going to be -3, which would be +3. We put -3 over here, and then we look at the a's. We have the a's over here, right? The a is going to be, and that's going to be 2. So 2 will go here next to that 4. In the denominator we have 2 also. And finally our c goes in the only place for c. And now we can just write out and simplify. So we have x equals -3 is going to be +3, plus or minus, and we have the square root of, well, -3 squared is 9, and we have 4 times 2 times 1, which is 8, but that's negative, so it's going to be 9 plus 8, so we're going to have square root of 17 over 2 times 2, which is 4. And so I don't think we can simplify this answer any further, so this will be our answer. Next, problem number 9. I use quadratic formula. In this case, we have 3x squared plus 2x minus 2. So we have a is equal to 3, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to -2. And I'm going to write out the formula with the parentheses. We have x equals, we'll put -b plus or minus square root of parentheses squared minus 4 open parentheses over 2 open parentheses. So we know that b is this first one here, so we're going to put 2. So we'll start out with -2, and 2 goes here inside the radical, and then a is 3, so 3 goes here next to this 4, and down here in the denominator next to 2. And finally c is -2. So again, it's the thing, x equals -b plus or minus square root of b squared. There are quadratic formula songs. Okay, 2a. That's what it is. So now we're going to simplify. X equals -2 plus or minus. Okay, we have in the radical here, we have 4. And then 4, and 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24. So 4 plus 24 is 28. And we have that all over 6. Well, for this one, we could do some further simplification, because we can rewrite square root of 28 equal to square root of 4 times 7. And square root of 4 times 7, we can take square root of 4 is 2, so we're going to have 2 square root of 7. So we can rewrite the square root of 28 as 2 square root of 7. And so, let's see, x equals -2 plus or minus 2 square root of 7 over 6. And the common factor of 2 for each of these in the numerator, if we could factor out a 2, we're going to have -1 plus or minus square root of 7, and we have this over 3, because this is a preservation, right? We factored out a 2, and we had it's like we ended up canceling out 2 over 2, right? Because if we take 2 times these things here, right, we're going to get that. So this will be our most simplified final answer. Anyway, good luck on your even number problems, and thank you for viewing.